Hi, I'm Ernie Green. I'm the music director of the Annapolis Chorale and Live Arts Maryland, and I am here with six of my friends who are all singers in the Annapolis Chorale. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of choral singing. And I wanted to get their thoughts about what it feels like to come back to singing after not having sung together in a rehearsal, really, or much less a performance for 20 months. And we have our first public performance when we do the Mozart Requiem. And so I would like to say welcome to May and Catherine and Bruce and Anthony and Laura. I guess what I'd like to do is just start off, and I'm going to just go down and say, May, I'm going to start the ball rolling with you. How does it feel to be back singing?
Well, the short answer is it's great. But I think it also, has you thinking about the seriousness of why we haven't been, singing, and the realities how each of us have been impacted, over these months. And so it's balancing that, and that we still don't have all the answers, to everything, and people are at different stages of being vaccinated, or each community we're in is, at a sort of at a different spot. But it is great, just to practice, with others, to be around others. And I think the performance coming up like adds another dimension, to that. And really thinking about, it's not singing at home alone.
Right.
Or singing online. It's blending with other voices in real time. It's the social connectedness, with others. We're all volunteers, doing this, and so it's a huge, sort of like commitment and excitement around all of it.
Thanks. Well, and you mentioned singing online and singing at home, so this is a great segue. I'm going to go to Laura, who's nodding because she knows where I'm going. So Laura, well, we've all done different things, and May sort of alluded to this during the pandemic. Laura Quinn has done one of the things she's done to keep herself singing is she has done a number of virtual choirs. These are online choirs where you submit individual tracks and then they are mixed together to form an online choir. And we sort of sometimes refer to them as sort of the Brady Bunch choir because it looks like, all of the kids at the beginning. But Laura has done, wait for this, 54 of these. So Laura, tell us a little bit about doing these virtual choirs where you're submitting a single track and then you're not singing with other people, you're singing your track. And then how does it feel different now to be back singing in the group?
Yeah, I've done 54 virtual choirs now. I never thought that I would do that many. I thought I would just stop with the one, but then I felt like I needed to sing, so I kept finding more to do. And they're different than singing actually with people and for people because you're there alone, you're recording yourself, and then you have to listen back to it. And in the first one, you're like shocked, or maybe you're not, because you'd never realize that that's what you sound like. So they're, in that regard, they're good for teaching you how you sound and to not be afraid of your voice.
Right. And so now that you've done 54 of these, I mean, you've almost turned this into a cottage industry, Laura. And I mean, it's like, now that you've done these, is it better to be back with other people or,
Oh yeah, it's definitely back.
So we're not gonna change the choral world, and we're not all gonna do virtual choirs.
No. It's
Okay.
definitely not the same. Like, I think it's good to do just as a something else besides singing with other people if you don't have the ability to actually go out and do it.
Anybody else do any virtual choirs other than the ones that we did? Catherine, how did you do you did some?
I did the like the first one. I think Laura's on it too. It was Sing Gently with Eric Whitaker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful piece of music, but we really felt like we just got punched in the stomach and we had no music and it was nothing. It just felt horrible. And there was 1 minute in there when I was recording my voice track, because we had to listen to a group of people singing and then watch him on a computer. It was like crazy setup, but there was a second in there too when I was singing along with the choir, the recorded choir, and I thought, oh, I feel it. That's it.
Right.
But it's as soon as that stopped, it was over again.
Right.
But that was a really beautiful piece of music. So I'm
Oh
glad.
yeah, and that was a beautiful recording too.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Eric Whitaker, I mean, he's got so much financial, so much financial structure behind him. I mean, those recordings that he does are just they're really well produced and no expenses spared. Bruce and Anthony, did you find ways to keep singing while you were during the pandemic?
Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. I didn't, unfortunately, and I can tell you that coming back to sing with the chorale, you definitely notice when your voice is out of shape. It's the other thing, now that we're back and rehearsing and getting ready for our performance, how much you listen to the other parts of the choir, and you're challenged by them. And I know I rely heavily on the talent around me, and it brings out the best of me. So I'm just very happy to be back and looking forward to doing Mozart Requiem, which I've never sung before. So
yeah,
looking forward to that.
That's sort of a destination piece. Bruce, what do you think? I'm going to let you weigh in here before we move.
Well, I had joined you last year when we did the Dan Forest.
Right.
So that was kind of a virtual choir for me. I mean, I couldn't hear the other singers. We were individually mic'd, and all I could hear was my own voice. So I had, Laura's experience of listening to me, which takes some getting used to. I have new respect for those that surround me when when I joined the choir. And we did the stuff outside of St. Anne's, I think, for Christmas. And I like that. And I think then this year we also did the thing down at the yacht club,
right?
Some patriotic music. So that's about the extent of the singing that I did over the shutdown, other than my normal blaring out to the radio or singing in the shower and
well, there's all
that kind
of
stuff.
good.
Which
those are all good.
You know what? I'm great. It's like you're a one handicapper when you're on the practice team, right? But as soon as you get I'm brilliant in my own bathroom. It's
well, and listen, when the car door is closed and the air conditioning,
nobody can hear you. Yep.
Everybody sounds like Freddie Mercury at that point.
But to build on your earlier question real quickly, for me, it's been, I got so used to being alone, and I was surprised by the wariness I felt kind of coming back into into a larger crowd. And one of the good things about the chorale is that I know those people. I've been with them for about 8 years now, and there's a comfort with coming back and singing with them, and aligning with other voices and other people who need to sing, who want to come out and do this stuff and do it better together. So that's been a very rewarding kind of reemergence for me.
Yeah. I think you used a phrase, who need to sing. I think for musicians in general, we all, whether we're professionals or amateur, it doesn't matter, it makes no difference whatsoever. We all need to do this. I think this is a more primal thing than just, it's something fun to do, it's a good lark, I think I'll do it. At some point we all have this need to do it, and it's I don't want to say it's like an addiction, but it is definitely something that, we have this itch that has to be scratched. And if it's not scratched, we feel weird. If you're a musician, whether you're a professional or an amateur, if you are not able to do that, it's a weird thing. So, and this sort of gets me to the next thing. and this is sort of a two-part question. So let's just, I'm going to go around the room real quick. Bruce, I'm going to start with you and then we'll go backwards in the order we just did, or as close to it as I can remember. What's the question is, what's the best part for you about returning to choral singing in general? And then about going back to the chorale in specific. What do you think?
Well, so I'm going to recall something that you have mentioned several times over the years and that has always resonated with me. I mean, there's something about picking up a piece of music that was penned hundreds of years ago that thousands of people have done. And I mean, that's a very moving concept for me to join in that community.
Mhm.
And to do that with people that I've sung with, across a variety of the major works, in particular that we've done over my tenure, is particularly rewarding because I like these people and I like singing with them and I like the way we sound together.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a this almost mystical kind of connection with the past, coupled with the camaraderie of the current situation, surrounded by people that that I feel close to and a kinship with. So that part's been really rewarding for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely something spiritual about it. I mean, it's the whole reason I came to start singing in the chorale was there was something that was missing in my life, or something I needed to do and I've always enjoyed choral singing, but gosh, I hadn't sang in a choir other than church choir for a very long time. So it's definitely fulfilling to me that I get, I probably get more out of it than I put into it when I come away, and there's just something you feel as being a part of. But yeah, and the additional part, and kind of to Bruce's point, that the music that we do is just so beautiful, and to be a part of that, to express ourselves in a way that when all of the voices get together, it's just gorgeous. Sometimes I get choked up singing. It's because it hits you in a place in your heart that it's really fulfilling. And then to be back with the choir or the chorale, I mean, all of the people that are there, they've become friends to me, and so
Right.
glad to see them, and we're just, you can see them smiling through their masks, when you see that face, and you're catching up with people. So it's very rewarding.
Yeah. May, what do you think? Same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's a shared creation, right? I mean, it's something you can't do
Right.
individually. And so that's what kind of makes it really terrific, in that sense. And I think the more that Bruce, everybody sort of talked about it too, but it is the sense of community. And I think at this moment when we've been so stressed, my work, and the issues that we're dealing with, and the health impacts for people, and the economic realities of how people have been impacted. And so, I mean, it's just really, and at the moment where being in the chorale, performing, things is a stress reducer, right? I mean, it's a neurophysiological thing, right? With the release of dopamine, and it's very much, what I think about volunteer work. I mean, when you're doing something for others, you get that, sort of release. And I think having that connection with others, being engaged that way with others, has that impact. So I think it's great on so many levels for people. And it's been just really nice, to see people you haven't seen in a while, and we all are so diverse and different backgrounds, and yet this is sort of that unifying thing that each of us enjoys. And it's great to meet people that you might not otherwise typically meet, but who all share this common love, common interest.
It's really interesting. You have people who have we come from such diverse backgrounds, and yet we're there for a common purpose that is really um, that's really bigger than us, as Bruce said. Catherine, what in particular is there, that do you like about singing, chorus in general, or with the chorale in particular?
Well, I think, music and singing is kind of part of my emotional makeup. It's just that it expresses a lot of things. I get a lot of things out. It makes me happy. So when all that was taken away, it just really was devastating. And I think right around Christmas time last year, when we, we had the outdoor things that we did with you, which thank God we had those. But Christmas Eve, I think I hit my lowest point because there was no choir, there was nothing, there was no Christmas music, and I just felt awful. I mean, I really did feel like the rug had been pulled out from under my life. So, just getting to come back and to re-express all of those things, it's really life affirming and personally affirming. But what I'm aware of now in the chorale when I'm singing with them, because I love the Mozart Requiem, but I'm really aware of the energy in the room, which I didn't used to be that aware of. I know it was there, but I really feel some joy and a little surge of energy coming from people, which is really great. It's a nice addition to just the happiness of being there to sing.
Laura, what about for you?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Catherine because I was okay, but then at Christmas, that was really sad because we're normally doing celebration of Christmas and we're doing Messiah and we're all together for so long and so often, and then it was just an emptiness.
Yeah.
And now that we're back, I feel like my heart is full again.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. This is a speed run. This is like a speed round.
Oh boy.
You ready? So we all know what we've got coming up. We've got Voices of Light, Messiah, Celebration of Christmas, Broadway, Chamber Chorus is doing the Matthew. We've got Beethoven. What are you looking forward to? What's something that you're going? Messiah. Okay.
All of it.
All of it. All right. Anything in particular, May?
I like learning something new. I like learning about, the pieces that we're performing. I may know some of them, but I may not know some of the, details of it. And I always find that really interesting. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to each of
So
them.
you're going to take whatever we give you, which is great. I love it.
It's a diversity. I love that. I think it's
Well,
great.
we've got a pretty diversity. Bruce, what do you think? Anything in particular?
The first thing that popped into my head was Sing Me Now of Christmas. I mean, I just, I love singing that as a group, and everybody gets so excited about it. And it's something we've always done, but I just, it means Christmas to me.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. Anthony, what do you think? What are you looking forward to?
Well, the Voices of Light, we were just getting ready to do that piece, and that's when it all really came down. I remember being in St. Anne's, and you and the board were making tough decisions at the time, and we're all like, crap. But now looking forward to really singing that. And like I mentioned to you last night, we didn't get to do the Loris, and that we were going to do at the end of last year. Lux Eterna.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I actually have, when we first moved into the studio, one of the things I thought about was doing a concert where we do a couple of works like that in the studio with a piano and sort of wrap the chorus around the audience. Now, we have to wait until we're not, like the Typhoid Mary singers, but hope springs eternal. You guys have all mentioned words like camaraderie and spiritual and emotional makeup and passion and dopamine and this idea of which is true. These are all important things. And as we get ready for this weekend, I really think that this is sort of a landmark, and I'm looking forward to to the audience coming back too, because it's a learning curve for them too. Our audiences have not been coming for 20 months because we haven't been doing anything. So for them, this is a learning curve. So I think we're gonna, this is like it really is like we are coming out of the cave. And hopefully it's going to be something where we don't have to run back in and roll the stone over the door again. And we'll be able to sort of move forward. So anyway, does anybody have anything else you want to share before I end the recording? Anything? Catherine?
I just wanted to thank you for finding ways and working so hard to get us back together. It's would have been so easy just to walk away and go, well, we're going to just sit it out until we're done.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
didn't
thank
do
you.
that. You kept trying to find ways for us to be together somehow. And
You know, I appreciate that. It's you know, I have colleagues who basically said, nope, not doing anything. I also have colleagues who, in addition to saying, nope, not doing that, also, you know, basically just got out of the business, you know? And I don't think that either of those solutions are particularly good. You know, and I was not willing to throw in the towel in any way. Matter of fact, I got more stubborn as with each passing day. I got absolutely stubborn. And I had made it, I remember telling somebody in a phone call, you know, I swear to God, if we have to stand on a football field spaced every 10 yards apart wearing hazmat suits, we're going to find a way to do it. And as soon as I said that, the numbers all of a sudden shot up like the next day. And I went, oh my God, I caused this.
well, I'm pretty sure all of us on this particular Zoom call would agree with that. I mean, we all feel really fortunate that you didn't give up.
Well, and frankly, I mean, our bar was the highest. I mean, other performing groups don't have 150 people standing shoulder to shoulder spewing,
Right.
you know, in the midst of all this stuff. I mean, the people can dance, people can, you know, you can play a violin, there's lots of things you can do that don't necessarily create a hazard for other period. This is the toughest thing there is to do.
Right. Well, and as somebody, I think it was Catherine, you know, one of the comments I made the other night at rehearsal, you know, is that the pandemic hit choral singers, I think, harder than any other ensemble. Orchestras that did not use wind players found ways to gather, wind players found ways to gather, but choruses were just really hit hard because it turned out early on in the pandemic, we discovered this was a high risk activity. Who knew? Who knew that being in a choir was risky behavior? This is what your mother told you to go. You know, your mother said, listen, go to choir practice and learn to behave. Man, if only she knew, you know?
And
So
people who don't do what we do don't get it.
no. Yeah, I have often said, you've heard me say this, I am convinced that if more people in the Western world, in Europe, everybody sings, you know, but if more people in the Western hemisphere sang every single day as part of something, even if it's just with one or two people that they get to work and they sing a song real quick, I think the world would be a better place. I really do. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. This has been great. Thank you so much for doing this. And onward, this week we have Mozart Requiem, Ave Verum, and then onward into other things. We're going to keep pushing ahead and we'll see where we go.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank
Thanks.
you so much. I'll see you at rehearsal, I guess, tomorrow night. All right. See you.
Bye.
Thank you
Got
for
it.
stopping
Bye.
by.
Bye.
See ya.